What if you walked into your favorite cafe one morning, ordered your usual coffee, and didn't even realize the woman pouring it was your own wife, the love of your life who had vanished without a trace years ago? Today's story will make your heart ache, your eyes well with tears, and your soul believe in destiny again. Make sure you watch till the end, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Kindness Stories, where every tale brings humanity back to life. It had been 6 years since Jacob Reynolds last saw her. Elena. The woman with eyes like calm before the storm and a smile that had once lit up his entire existence. But that morning, as he entered the bustling little cafe on the corner of Maple and 8th, his comfort zone, his ritual, he had no idea destiny was about to blindside him in the most unexpected way. Jacob was 35, tall, well-built, with the quiet demeanor of a man who had seen too much and said too little. A corporate consultant by profession, his life was routine, ordered, almost mechanical. Wake up at 6:30. Gym. Shower. Suit. Cafe at 8:15. Black coffee. 1 butter croissant. And a seat by the window where sunlight filtered through, just enough to make his world seem less gray. That morning was no different, except it was. Because she was there. He didn't notice at first. The cafe had recently hired new staff, and the woman behind the counter wore her hair tied back, a cap hiding most of her features. Her uniform was a bit loose, her posture meek, almost apologetic. But when she turned and looked at him as he placed his order, something in the air shifted. A pause. Like the world inhaled and forgot how to exhale. Medium black. Butter croissant, she said softly, trying to steady her voice. Jacob looked up, briefly. Her voice, it was hauntingly familiar, but he couldn't place it. Yes. Thanks, he replied, returning to his phone. Elena's fingers trembled as she handed him the coffee. He took it, nodded politely, and walked to his usual table, never once looking closely enough. Never once realizing the woman he once vowed to protect forever was standing just feet away, heart pounding with every second he didn't recognize her. 3 tables down, Amanda, another waitress, whispered, "Hey, Lena, you okay? You're pale." Elena managed a smile. Yeah. Just, long night. Long night. Long years. Long memories. The years after she disappeared from Jacob's life weren't kind to her. They weren't cruel either, they were just, empty. Like a canvas never touched by paint. After the miscarriage and the relentless blame game that followed, their marriage shattered. But instead of fighting back, Elena had simply walked away. Vanished without a note. She believed she wasn't worthy of love anymore. And Jacob, too proud and too hurt, never looked for her. Now, he came to this cafe every day, never knowing that the love he once lost was serving his coffee. Silently, painfully, and with every part of her heart breaking all over again. Over the next few days, the same pattern repeated. He'd come. She'd serve. He'd leave. She'd cry. Then, one rainy Thursday morning, things changed. Jacob arrived soaked, his umbrella having flipped inside out during the storm. His suit was drenched, and his coffee order came with a smile from Amanda instead. "Elena's in the back," Amanda said casually. "Elena?" Jacob asked, his heart skipping a beat. "Yeah, the new girl. She's great. Kind of quiet though." Jacob froze. That name, it wasn't exactly rare. But paired with that voice, that softness, that broken gentleness, it struck a chord buried deep. He stood up, walked to the counter, and before he could stop himself, said, "Can I speak to Elena?" She stepped out from the back, wiping her hands on her apron. Their eyes met. And time stood still. His cup slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor. But he didn't notice. His world had just shattered far louder. "Elena," he whispered, stunned, almost afraid to believe it. Her lips trembled. "Jacob." Jacob didn't speak for a full minute. He just stared at her. The edges of her face were softer now, tired even, but it was her. The same eyes. The same softness. His Elena. "Is this real?" he asked quietly. She nodded, her eyes welling up. "I didn't think you'd ever find me. I didn't even think you'd want to." "Why?" was all he could manage. "I lost our child," she whispered. "And then I lost myself. I thought you hated me, that I had no place left beside you. So, I ran." Jacob's face crumbled. "I never hated you. I was grieving. Angry. But never at you." Tears streamed down her face as she said, "But you never came for me." He looked down, ashamed. "I thought you wanted to disappear. I thought, maybe you were better off without me." They stood in silence, two hearts trying to stitch back together what years of silence had ripped apart. "I've been working here for 3 months, Elena said. And every day you came in, and didn't see me, it broke something inside. But I was too afraid to speak." Jacob wiped a tear from her cheek. "I saw you. Every single time. I just didn't know it was you." He offered to take her for a walk, despite the rain. They walked slowly, awkwardly, past familiar streets that now felt like different worlds. They talked. About the years lost. The pain carried. The moments missed. At one point, Elena said, "Do you remember that little cabin near the lake? The one we used to say we'd retire in someday?" Jacob chuckled, his eyes soft. "Yeah. I still have the deed. Never sold it. I go there sometimes," she said quietly. "It's where I hid after I left. I planted sunflowers in the back." "Sunflowers," he whispered. "You always loved those." By now, they had stopped in front of a bookstore, Elena's favorite place once. Jacob reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a small, folded piece of paper. "You won't believe this," he said, handing it to her. It was a note. A scribbled letter. Old and faded. It read, "If we ever get lost, let's meet at the cabin. Sunflowers will guide us." She gasped. "You kept this?" "I never stopped loving you, Elena," he said, voice breaking. "And if you give me one more chance, I promise I'll never let you go again." Elena didn't respond with words. She just stepped forward and wrapped her arms around him. He held her tightly, as if afraid she'd vanish again. But this time, she didn't. They returned to the cafe hand in hand. The manager offered her a week off, and Jacob suggested they spend it at the cabin, together, like they'd always dreamed. 1 week turned into a month. A month into forever. And every morning now, they share coffee, not across a counter, but across a kitchen table near a window, where sunflowers sway gently in the morning light. Sometimes love doesn't die. It just waits, silently, until the heart is ready to remember. If this story moved you, share it with someone who believes in second chances. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Kindness Stories, where every story heals a piece of your heart.